Okay.
Ooh, my own.
All right, kings and queens.
You guys have waited
You have waited.
impatiently.
You have waited.
I didn't say patiently. On purpose. All right, Leo, you guys are fire.
We're getting into your season.
We are finally doing the fireside.
Summer,
Look, he's saying, we get into your season.
summertime.
We get into your season. That's why the name of
What?
this video is called...
What did he name it, you guys? I didn't even get to see. He just went in, named it.
Patience, my dear.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, where are you? I want to see you.
Okay.
I want to see you.
Yeah, I know.
On the
It's an odd time. We didn't let people know.
Let me see.
Now
Here
you
they
know.
go. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
What's
3.
up?
Hi, Leos. Are
Leos, you are
here?
asking for your reading.
Okay, so first of all, welcome.
Welcome.
This is Providence Tarot.
Yes.
I'm Kendrick.
And I'm Dale.
So, Leo, you guys have been waiting patiently for your reading.
What's going on? Yeah? What's been going on with you? Last month, I think you guys got like King of Pentacles. I think the Death card might have even been there. Did you guys go through some transformations recently? Or did you initiate something? Right?
How are you guys feeling with like your relationships and the people that you're dealing with? I mean, like everyone, you know, like mom, maybe some of your dad, your sisters, your brothers, your aunts, uncles, nieces. Like, I mean, like people that are those family members that you talk to on a regular, not like the ones that like, you know, you don't talk to really. Wow, this has really been coming out a lot from this deck.
There you are, Leo, right? First card.
And you know, something about the moon in Sagittarius, the full moon in Sagittarius, go back to that. What were you doing then? Because this is the moon in Sagittarius. Some of you have been feeling a little bit defensive about
your
something,
goals,
right?
Or somebody.
What are you so protective of?
Mm.
Right? It's almost like you're waiting for someone to do something.
Yeah.
But it's like...
What's hidden? What is it that you know that other people don't know?
It's because you don't
about
trust
some scenario.
It's like you don't trust someone.
Something about sharing. It's like a waiting period, right? It's like you against something, or like you just supremely know something in the back of your mind about something. Maybe you see like
that's
foresight.
probably that's probably where that mistrust is coming from, or distrust. You got the 8 of Swords here. I'm just shuffling the deck, seeing what pops out until I'm done. Okay, so you got the 8 of Swords here. You're worried about something that actually really isn't anything that you need to be worried about at all. Yeah?
This card, I've been shuffling for a while.
What are you so concerned
Even before we turn this on, and this card, Sun and Scorpio, Sun and Scorpio. Is there a deep feeling of something?
So
right? Either it's a feeling of regret, or it's like a feeling of that some nostalgia. Are you going back to meet with some people that you haven't seen in a while? Are you sharing deep emotions with someone, a sibling even? Or is there like a feeling of scorn and it's being highlighted right now somehow? Like something happened and you're just aware of it and like,
you know,
you're just
you
open
don't want
to
to put yourself in a mental prison, right? Or you don't want to put yourself, right, and at the bottom of the deck before I cut it,
adjustment in your feelings.
The sun, right? So what is being shown to you that wasn't in the past? What's being illuminated for you, right?
Houses.
And now what, got it. And now what is being shown to you as far as like truth goes and what's clear to you since the full moon in Sagittarius, right? What's been going on?
Right.
We're doing the Radiant Rider, Radiant Rider Weight deck. And we're also doing the Wild Unknown deck. We're like mixing and matching them. And then we're going to get this like shape going that we're doing. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect, right. That's exactly what we said we were going to do. And we've got 2 bottoms of the decks for you because we're using both decks. What'd you get, Dale?
I got Knight of Pentacles.
So that's like Virgo energy. It's mutable earth mixed with fire. That's a slow, steady roasting.
Yeah, this is definitely about, progression. This person is definitely not going to be fooled, right? They're like, they know what's up. They're holding that pentacle. They've been riding this horse. Looks like it's experienced. Like this experience, like with this horse, has absorbed all of the negativity from like these past experiences, right? Being the black horse here. And the red is like the action and the passion behind all of it. You're wrapped in armor. So this person might be kind of a little bit defensive or just anticipating maybe a little bit more struggle in order to get, a larger gain. This person isn't going to be fooled. Like I said, when it comes to processes, it could be definitely when it comes to business, it's a really great card for business. There could be something sudden that comes in that is really progressive as far as, business is concerned.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Leo. So,
on the bottom of my deck, I got the Father of Cups, which is the King of Cups. So some of you are dealing with a fixed water sign, Scorpio possibly. It could be somebody with, maybe Mars in Scorpio, or it could be somebody with Pluto in Scorpio, or Moon in Scorpio, or rising, Sun, Moon, or rising, right? Or maybe they have like a lot of Scorpio aspects. Maybe like they have their Mercury in Scorpio, or they have their Venus in Scorpio.
Or their Venus is in Scorpio and it's your lover. That might be something.
Right, yeah, exactly. So this is somebody
Your Venus is in
this
Scorpio.
is someone who really knows how to deal with the realm of emotions, right? I mean, on a higher polarity, but then on a lower polarity, it's someone that is actually manipulative. They use it to take advantage of you, and they can actually get into your head, which then can get into your feelings, and then they can begin to control you. But if it's at a higher polarity, it's someone who is actually going to be a paternal sort of energy as far as like the realm of emotions go. Like they're going to provide you with that male energy of emotion that's a little bit different. It's a different smell, right? It's a different texture. It's a different, just mood than that feminine energy. But it's injected with feminine energy, but it's feminine and masculine at the same time, right? That's another thing that you have to be careful of when you're talking about it in the lower polarity, because there's strength within that lower polarity too, right? So it's a little bit elevated as far as like the destruction or the interference that it can cause when it comes from that like water male in like a lower polarity. It's a darker thing.
Definitely somebody who knows how to manipulate emotion.
Right.
It could be like somebody who's fixed on manipulating your emotions.
Right.
Or in another aspect, it could be the home life.
Hey.
It could be like your focus is going to be on the home life, or it has been on the home life. Especially if you guys are thinking about some type of progression in the home.
Right.
There could even be some type of intimidation with the home, with the Knight of Pentacles being there. Okay, let's begin. We're going to get into a 12th house reading with you guys. We started doing this. We did it for a few signs. I think Capricorn was one of them. I think we may have done it for Taurus as well. So now we're going to go into Leo. A real quick thing about Leos, of course, hopefully you guys know. This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising, particularly if you have those in Leo. Any of those, your Moon obviously being your feelings and like your receptivity to your environment, your home life, your mother, your heritage. Your Rising is your perspective, basically your scope on things, your lens, how you're seen when you're just existing in your natural habitat. And then your Sun is your awareness. It's your actions. It's your Yang energy. It's your I'm going out to do this. How you go out and do it is Mars, though, right? Because that's the hunger for right?
I feel like some of you are going through a process with a water sign male, whatever that means. Okay. All right, so let's start with...
Or Virgo.
Or Virgo, right, exactly.
Or
Virgo,
yeah,
right.
Definitely
Yeah,
see
definitely
like
be a Virgo.
A Virgo situation. Okay, wow.
Look at that, guys. Well, this isn't a bad start.
Okay, so I was shuffling earlier before we turned this on, and the Fool popped out when I was cleansing the deck from a personal reading we had just gotten done with. And here it is. Can you guys see it? Let me see. There's a lot of reflection. So yes, the Fool popped out. So this is like in your mind right now, in your first house, your personality. You're thinking about spirit. You might be thinking about taking a risk. You might be thinking about traveling. You might just be enjoying like the outdoors right now and being like connected to spirit again. Maybe you are feeling somehow disconnected from it. And you're allowing yourself to open up to these possibilities. Some of you are thinking about really starting a change, or you don't even realize it, but you're being driven because the spirit is the Fool is like before even the initiation, right? Because the initiation of the Fool is like that first one, which is like, I am doing this thing.
Right.
Before that, it's like, where does that come from? Where does the I am doing this thing come from? Right?
I feel
that's the Fool energy. It's like the spirit inside, the inclination to do it. Why do you like this taste? Why do you have this craving? Why are you reading this book? Why do you want to go back to school? Why do you want to stay in this relationship? Why do you want to end this relationship? This is what I'm talking about. Because this is the first house, right? So this is your personality now. This is your frontal lobe. Come on, Leo, talk to me.
I feel like some of you are experiencing a sense of underdeveloped opportunity, right? It's like you can sense the freshness of whatever situation it is that you're in, but you're identifying with the fact that it's so new that it could go any way, right? Maybe it's a job that you guys have. Maybe it's a new partnership you have. Maybe it's someone that you're starting a relationship that's in the very beginning stages and you feel good about it, so it's not really here or there, right? Maybe some of you are, on vacation. Maybe this is the beginning of your summer vacation.
You're thinking about vacation.
Maybe you're thinking about vacation, but job, she said job. Yeah, but this is like possibilities coming your way. This is having faith in the...
It might be a risk involved somehow.
There's always risk involved with opportunity, right? Because it's like opportunity is a
definitely new beginnings.
Choices come with opportunities and new beginnings, right? Or with new beginnings come new opportunities, which will bring about new choices. Yes, because the Fool is just at the beginning of his journey. He hasn't even really been faced with the Magician yet, right? It's those principles in life that make up everything that we exist in. It's the air, it's the fire, it's the water, it's the earth. So he has a little bit more to learn as far as what things actually are made of, right?
Right. Okay.
But
this is major.
Yeah.
This is
that's like a little very like a virginistic energy. So that's good.
Yeah, this is
untainted.
This is talking about change. So if some of you have been having like issues with or feeling stagnant somehow, it's definitely the possibility of like changing it up, feeling spirited again.
Right.
Let's see what's going on in your second house. This is Aries as well.
Be careful of bad influences, people that are bad influences. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I know, right?
Mm-hmm. Your second house, you got 2 of Wands.
2 of Wands.
Okay, so that is Mars and Aries.
Right. Okay, yeah, so Mars and Aries, you like that. You're like ready to go, right? You're impulsive. And when you're impulsive, that means that you're a little bit reckless, but with the impulsiveness comes a little bit of that like luck and opportunity of things to actually work out for you because you didn't think that they wouldn't work out for you. But within that, some things won't work out. But just know that some things will and some things won't. As far as like what you have, because you're looking to gain more things. Some of you are thinking
There's
about
choices, yeah.
right. You know, with
and your spirit's about
right.
the choices.
With
right?
Jupiter being in Scorpio right now and that fixed placement, it's like it's affecting you in another way too, right? And if some of you have Scorpio placements, then it's definitely affecting you, right? You're thinking about expanding. You're thinking about what you're working with. You're thinking about how you can attract. You're thinking about how you can get more out of your life based on what you are and the fire and the heart that you have.
Maybe some of you have a talent. Maybe some of you are really good at, I mean, you're a Leo, and this is fire.
Right.
This is Aries. This is Mars in Aries. And what does Mars do? He carries out the will of the sun. And who is the sun ruled by? Leo. It's in the sign of Leo. Right? So this is kind of like, almost like you getting back to some things in yourself, right? You could be nostalgically, getting back to what you have, like what you have spiritedly, definitely.
Right.
Or you could just be getting back to some choices that you know that you need to make about why you physically have the things that you have, why you're in the relationships that you're in, why you do the jobs that you do. This is Taurus, so this is talking about your routine, and it's talking about your routine in like a very anchored way, in the way that you fear that change, in the way that the structure cracks and breaks, and the way that the earth changes in a dramatic way, right?
It's funny that I was talking about virginistic energy because it's like when you think about it, it goes Leo, Virgo. So this is in your house of routine. You know what I mean? But it also is in the placement of what you have. It's really the placement of the house of Taurus, but it's being influenced in your birth chart by Virgo energy.
Which is still your day, which is still detailed day to day. It's your day to day.
Still routines, right? You're planning that stuff. You're planning the details of the routines because things kind of got a little bit like crazy for you leading up to the spring season. You know what I mean? You guys had a lot going on and, you know, you were presented with different opportunities and different choices to do certain things. And you just kind of had to like think about like what that meant for you. You know what I mean? Like what that would do to like the time that you have, what it would do to the routine that you have, what that would mean for your like, you know, your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Getting back to you, exactly.
Some of you are really thinking about what is spirited for you. You're like at a fork right now, and it might have to do with something that you have versus what you don't have and how it makes you feel. This one physical thing, how it makes you feel, versus this one physical thing, and they might not be parallel things. It might be like my man, my relationship, my girl, my time spent there, because that is Pentacle energy, time, karma, Saturn. Or it could be like my job, you know, like in like how my job makes me feel or how much time my job takes up versus these things. Ooh. You know, because the bottom of it. How much time does your
job take up?
Yeah.
Too much time, Leo? Are you thinking that you're offering way too much of yourself?
I mean, you just definitely could be thinking about just like yourself, what you have and what you're getting out of how much you put into it, right? There could be a waiting period involved here too. Or you know something that maybe other people don't know in a matter. That's definitely possible. You could even be going into a situation involving some type of lover's situation. Maybe even you might have to make a choice with a lover. All of this is possible with the Two of Wands being there.
I feel like you guys are really believing in yourself, right? Even if like some people don't, it's like you have that faith where you're believing in yourself and you believe in the choices that you are making, right? Because it's actually going to start to formulate and take shape for you because you've already sort of like prophesized that, right? Based on everything that you know, everything that you're doing, everything that you see, everything that you've been experiencing. And that's good or bad, right? It is worth it. It's definitely worth it, you know?
The world is in your hand there, and you're looking at what you've attained, right? And there's the possibility of more. You know, you're cloaked in red, so this is somebody who's wide awake. This is the middle of the day. You are out there ready, right? You're not asleep. So this is talking about possibilities.
Yes, exactly, Samantha. You know, he's right. It's that time that you put into yourself right now. You know, it's very important because some of you are doing a lot.
Venus is in Cancer
You're pushing
right now.
yourself a lot sometimes. And I get it because in the realm of like being that my Venus is in Leo and his too, but his is the same thing. It's like your relationships might actually be like on the back burner because you're like focused on your work so much and you're like thinking about all these other things, and you know that's not really. And he's trying to get back into that mode of like, ew, let's go and do something.
Right, I'm a Leo, right. And I'm just now getting back into that place. This is resonating with me because I'm just making those choices too of like dating again and going out and just feeling spirited, and the way that Aries feels spirited, because this is Aries, right? And it's saying put aggression into yourself.
Right.
It's saying just like go out there and have fun. Anyway. It's wide open. It's a day where you should just be meeting people and making choices and like, you know, like you're single. There's no reason why you shouldn't, you know, like, so there's like this type of.
My Venus is there, and I'm dealing with that sort of like in my relationship because I'm like, I never see you actually.
You're also thinking about just what you have spiritedly, like, and like how much energy you might put into something. You definitely, a lot of you may be thinking about love at this period of time, or something just very passionate, a long-term goal. It could be travel related, definitely, maybe even a long distance type of thing. Or you've been just working on something and it's really related to the self somehow. It could be a creative project even. And you really just want to see, like, you want to see something physical come out of it. Like even something financial. It is the second house. You know, because it's talking about your assets, like what you actually have, right? So some of you do have this talent. And there's a choice of how you're going to express that talent, how you're going to franchise that talent.
It's like, here's this thing. How am I going to use it?
There might even be romance involved around the talent with somebody that you're like related to with it. It could be even an Aries, right? In that sense, some of you could be thinking about a commitment with an Aries somehow. It could be business related, or it could be sexual, you know, and just purely like a physical type of thing.
Oh, your Venus is in Leo. Both of our Venuses are in Leo. I'm dealing with the Cancer sign, waiting for a marriage proposal. Okay, well, don't expect anything unless you guys have already talked about getting engaged before, right? Because if you guys haven't talked about it, most couples talk about getting engaged unless the guy, well, no. If you guys have talked about getting engaged, then 9 times out of 10, if you get proposed to, then you've talked about it at some point. They won't just be like, I'm just going to do this. You know what I mean?
Well, if anything, put it this way, if you want to be proposed to, you should bring up the conversation of proposal.
Right, and don't just expect that that's going to happen. I don't know a Leo, but I just wanted to tune in. Okay. I just have friends, period. Love seems to be too hard these days. I know, yeah. Because we are really good friends, and, you know, we don't have a lot of friends that are around a lot. Because, you know, oh, I knew you were going to get the Justice card. Hallelujah.
Okay. So in your communications, you've got the Justice card, which is ruled by Libra and Venus. So it's talking about logics in your communication. Some of you, it could be simple stuff like paperwork and stuff you need to tend to, or you need to tend to your relationship somehow, especially if it's a sibling or some type of Libra in your life that could like have some type of balance with communications or media related. You know, this is like traditionally the house of Gemini as a third house, but in your in your house of tropical, the way that we're doing this, it's Libra, and this is Libra. Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of like double logistified that it's like talking about communications possibly with a lover, communications with a relationship.
Just like even having conversations
or what's
with
fair
people.
In your relationships, like your time versus their time, things to do with excuse me, your hands and communications with a lover, and like maybe it's physical stuff, maybe it's sensual, maybe you need to be more sensual, or you're hoping to be more sensual. You maybe
maybe you need to be like physically touched more by the person that you're dating, you know, because we actually need to experience that sense of touch. And it's funny that the Libra card has popped out here in the house of Libra, which is your third house, because Libra is what rules the sensation, right? It's also after Gemini. So it's like the idea of communication and what that means is to send messages and, like body language. And then now we get into speaking things. But, before speaking and before grunting or, body language, it was like touching or touching and body language.
Right.
So that's actually very important. It's very fundamental to a relationship. If you don't have physical touch with your partner, or you don't experience those different sensations with your partner, sight, smell, touch, feel, all of those things,
it's
then
like
something
justice.
is missing.
Yeah, is there justice with a Gemini, or is there justice with another air sign, even like a Libra, with communication somehow? Maybe there's two sides to a person.
Okay.
Even you could have been dating somebody and like they were like, yeah, there could have been just two different sides, just like a night and day. Maybe they're one way at home and one way in the world, and their moon. There could be opposition with their moon and sun somehow.
Someone could be too touchy-feely with you, and that's a turn off.
Or it could be like also like in the communication somehow with the lover, it's emotionally blocked. Like there is talk and there is love or something, but somehow with the communication, you're not actually getting the words landed. You're not getting the justice of the relationship, right? It's not like the persona isn't there.
I feel like
of the relationship being standing for what it is. You know?
I feel like, it's probably like, now this is a mutable placement, right? Because it's the third house of communications. So it's like someone might be initiating communications that are actually a little bit confusing because it's mutable, right? So you can't quite really pull it all in to understand all sides of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're analyzing somebody else too much, or they're analyzing you too much. Or they could have just like kind of like somebody could be not being fair.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely with it being here.
Not providing enough
in the third house, right? Not being mature. Maybe they just went ahead and sized you up for being like this. You could have been on a dramatic flair of some sort. You like to perform. You are at your core, and people who know you know that. But people who don't know you could just be seeing one hat of many that you have, right? And so there could easily be some type of communication thing and the weighing out of the communication. Definitely with that being there. Even with a sibling, it could be because this is the sibling house as well.
Right, this relationship.
And this is also relationships. Yeah, so it could be definitely family related even because there's the black and white cat there. It's like, who do you trust? Who do you trust in a certain situation even? It could be close to home even. It could be somebody that you live with. It could be somebody that you work with. And you're wondering, if you can get a grip of the whole personality of this person. Can they be trusted? And are you being fair? Are they being fair to you?
If you're always wondering if there's a third party, then there might be something to that. It's sort of like when there's smoke. You know what I mean? Y'all follow Vedic right now because y'all are the only ones I can relate to as well as this concept. And it's because I use my Vedic signs. Well, yeah, I mean, we use all different types of astrology, right?
Yeah.
Because we're just
If you're thinking Vedically, here it's like Venus ruling justice. It could be talking about a wife situation then. Leo, you could definitely be talking about something to do with what's communication with your wife. Or, your wifely duties somehow. And if you're being fair in that type of situation, that's just one take on it. Let's see what's going on in the fourth house here for you.
Okay. So what's going on in the home? So
you've got the double card.
What's going on? Who's controlling? Who's being like deceptive? What's the Stockholm syndrome?
So literally in the home life right now, there could be definitely something unfair happening going on. Definitely with the sibling, or just with, it could have been like a relationship of some sort. It was an intimate relationship, and now it feels very like restricted somehow. You guys just still work together, but you're not as close. Or you're somehow in a systematic routine, or like you're bound to each other somehow in a physical plane, but you there's no trust there, or there's some type of thing even where it's like there's just sex and there's no emotion, or you know, or something, or somebody might even have a hold on you where you're just like every time they call you call in, you know. Some of you are in opposition with your mothers right now. There's definitely that as well.
Is your mom like living with you and she's trying to find a place and you're like waiting for her to get out, or waiting for her to move out? Or maybe you feel bound by the relationship or the responsibility that you have. Is it
like a duty
for your mom?
Yeah,
right.
Somehow.
That type of thing. Or it could be your dad, you know. But
yeah, there could be definitely you know, something to do with an evolution of oneself when it comes to the physical plane. Maybe you guys are going to just be going to be going in more in the family or in the home life with physical pleasures. You could be putting a lot more work into that this next month.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're just like either you're having more sex or something like that with your mate because it's going to be warm. You're just feeling like really sexy, or you're going to be doing more experimenting. There could be even just kind of more like some type of experimentation going on. Or there could be some type of long distance kind of thing happening where you feel like you can't get to that person, and it's just really upsetting you, and it's got you inflamed because your focus is completely on that. It can even be like you meet somebody and everybody else is against you and that person. You're dating this person and nobody ever likes this person that you're dating.
They're like a bad influence.
You don't want to stop dating this person because, you know, the D is good or something like that.
You just have like this emotional attachment to them. Like you're like bound to them emotionally for some reason.
Yeah.
Right? Like you guys
Capricorn.
You guys experience each other in a different way that other people don't. So that energy between the two of you is different. Mm-hmm. So that's what you're like attached to. That's why you don't really mind still spending time with this person that you feel like you can't get away from, because you guys do have this thing between you that is kind of like a little bit devilish and sneaky, maybe.
Mm-hmm. It could be like something, it's just
the fact that you're together, right?
It could be something just hidden in general, and that's the pressure of it that it's hidden. Or it could be some type of manipulation involved, like they know you like this thing, so they got you like this. This could even be like some kind of like addiction related kind of thing. Or it could be just something to deal with attention or something. They know a vice of yours and they can provide it for you. Whatever it is, even if it is just a phone call and they know that you like this or this attention somehow. Or you're, you know, pleasing your ego somehow. Or you do it for them.
Someone could be holding something over your head too as a threat.
That's definitely possible too,
right? Which is that's very nasty.
Or just something going on even in the home life. This could be related to the home life as well, or some type of duties that you have to do related to your mother that make you feel like eye roll. That's in general, you know. And it doesn't necessarily mean something bad, but it could just be like sometimes this comes up with family, and this is the family card too. Because it's heritage as well. So it's like, this is the fourth card, which is the mother. It's like that type of feeling when like your parent guilt trips you into doing something.
Right.
Or your grandparent guilt trip you into doing something. Right. Because you're the one who can do it. You're the one who has, you know, who's the responsible one or something like that. Like and now you have this duty.
For you, this is Scorpio. So now I'm getting it in a different way because it's the devil. And it's in your fourth house, which is Scorpio. But really,
it could be very sexual. That's why I kept going back to the sexual thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like you're just bound sexually. It could be like a fatal attraction type of thing. Right. Where you're like really just on it. Yeah, it's the on in the sex, or it's on in the physical. Right. It's something really physical that's really there. Or, you know, it could
you're
just
getting
be like
off on the fact that like you're not
you're really attracted to a Capricorn,
person, but you're really attracted to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're like, when you guys get together, it's like, oh, I don't want to be doing, like, I don't want anyone to know that, like, we're bound to each other this way, but it's, like, really hot, and it's, like, you know, it's kind of toxic in that way, but you're getting off on the fact that it's actually the toxicity of it.
Yeah, some of you, I'm just going to say, some of you are, like, not in healthy relationships in the home life. It could be even a Capricorn person I'm seeing. And it could just be, like, it's just not healthy. There could be even abuse involved, sexual abuse involved somehow.
Yeah,
you know, or somebody close to you could be being
Absolutely.
sexually abused. There could be, you know, a rape in the home. There could have been a situation, you know, an injustice with the communications, even a strife, maybe a sibling went through. You're just finding out.
Remember, we said
a family-related thing or a family-related thing that somehow is affecting you. It could be heritage-related even. Somebody in the family could have gotten sick recently, that type of thing, where it affects everyone in the family, the mother somehow, you know, that type of thing as well. You could be somehow your body. Mm-hmm. Right, because it's Saturn as well. Right, so it's talking about the body and the skeleton and the structure and time. You know, this card is very much about time and how like you emotionally feel bound to things, you know. And also this is very much about carnal and physical. Now, if it was in reverse, it'd be better. It'd be like you conquering that shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, this is like you just recognizing that it's there. You know, whatever it is that's happening, and it's a major thing that's happening. There's nothing good really coming out of like the devil card upright like that. It's not like I'm going to be able to like elaborate it into a way that's like, oh, yeah.
And the Scorpio is significant.
You know what I mean?
A Scorpio is significant for you guys because, you know, the card of the cups flipped over at the beginning of the reading. We talked about someone who's manipulative.
Yeah, and that sex is there, though.
Emotionally
it's like,
controlling, you know, takes advantage of vulnerabilities. And they can be, you know, quite evil, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a male. And, you know, you got this devil card here in the Scorpio's house for you, which is your fourth house. So it could be someone that you live with, someone in your home that is abusive.
Right, or like a sibling once again, or like a father, mother. I mean,
absolutely, father.
It could be father, it could be a Scorpio once again, or it could be like,
you could have your mom.
You know, this could have to do with emotions in general, and then maybe even emotions related to like sexuality or heritage. Even maybe some of you are having issues with family members and their sexuality or your sexuality somehow. That could be something, or just feeling bound somehow where you're like not in agreement, but you have to kind of like do this thing, make this thing work. That could be something. Okay. Let's see what's going on in your fifth house. What's going on with that devil card there, guys? Okay. It's like you're falling into something. What are you guys saying?
They're saying something.
How to cleanse. He haunts me like today. I had a feeling he's starting to work, like my chest had a warm feeling. And in 20 minutes he started, and then the finish of it, I felt it too. Yes, he left me because his mom didn't like that I had a daughter. This was in 2001.
Okay. Well, let's look at that card.
I feel you.
Well, here you go.
You know, it's like
cleanse, right? Freeing yourself of the emotions, freeing yourself of the thoughts of the past, right? You're thinking about time, all of those things that you experienced with the devil card being with Saturn, you know, ruling that card, and Capricorn. You need to take a spiritual break, spiritual cleansing, right?
That was a lot, right? Like, I feel like I needed to be clear. I'm trying to explain that.
That was a lot.
It was a lot.
Rest yourself up, you guys. You know what I mean? There is structure in bringing peace to the mind. Okay? There really is. It helps you go about your day. It helps you sleep better. It makes you feel more energized, right? Because you can face more out of life when you bring your mind at ease. Yeah, it's sort of like recalibrating the mind. mind.
Mm-hmm.
However that is for you. You could be reading. You could be creating art, painting, something that is quiet. That is something that can be meditative, right? There are many different ways to meditate. And when I mean quiet, I mean like quiet is like maybe you're not having a conversation with someone. Yes. Therapy can be meditative too. This could be going, some therapy. But for me, meditating is like chanting. That's not really quiet. You could be, it is quieting the mind. You could be listening to some calming music, right? Writing, reading, painting, coloring. Even playing music can be very meditative, or listening to classical music. All of those things, those are all like Libran things, Venetian things that you can do to sort of bring peace to your mind, to formulate, a place where structure can be formed, right? Mentally.
I mean, Jupiter and Libra as well is talking about expanding in a relationship in general. This is the 5th house, and here it's like Sagittarius for you. So it's really like, it's like a mature energy. It could be talking, again, about like, are you expressing your wants in a relationship? The possibility of getting what you want from your relationship, even family-related needs, or like a lover even. It might be very possible for you, but you need to go in and figure out what it is that you actually do want from the situation. Right. And not just in the way that makes you feel spirited in your ego, but in a way that is like tangible. Like in a way that is like, this is what I have. And even if you are committed right now, it's like, are you being fair in sex, and passions, like, put more, light back up, Leo. Like, what's going on here? Right. At the end of the day, it really is.
Why are you letting these people do this to your emotions?
It's like you guys are down. It's like, no. Bring it back up, because the Fool is actually at play, and a new beginning is actually around the corner. It's kind of like, you're going to see.
There's some
You're going to see over time, you're going to see that you had to go through this whole thing so you could have that perfected work, the intimidations of everything, so that you wouldn't be fooled later on, right?
You got 2 Libra cards, bookending this Devil card. So it really is saying, like, take care of this by achieving a sense of balance, a sense of inner peace, harmony.
It's like everything's pointing down to that, right?
It's down to that, right?
To that situation that happened at work, or that person that he did that thing, especially if it's a Capricorn, or like, it's just like for you, it's in the soul. So it's like something deep that made you feel bound. Right. It's heavy. It's heavier than all the other stuff, but you're going to have a new beginning, and you got to allow it to happen. You have to allow it to happen, because it's like you got to slow down. That Sagittarius like energy that's over there. You got to slow down and start listening again, and start being open again.
Okay, that could explain the Capricorn card, the Devil card. Jade Made Love said, I'm trying to figure out what to say to my lover because I need him to invest in my business. That could very well be
okay, yeah, because the Devil card could talk about money, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't
the Devil
always
card
have
could definitely be talking about money.
Yeah.
It could be talking about currency. Right. And like money does affect our emotions, right? When you have money, you feel good. When you don't have money, you don't feel as good.
Right. And it's your lover.
It's your lover. And it's a lot of the time. So that's kind of like how the Devil card influences money in that sense, how it affects your emotions. Or what you might have to do in an intimidation of that. You do have an intimidation for maybe something that you want to progress in, and that could definitely be a business or a relationship, because this is the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom there.
Let's look at your 6th card. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
The Tower. Okay, so, this is in your routine. So some of your routines are going to be like,
I got thrown up,
abruptly influenced by some.
If it hasn't happened, it's going to.
So this could even mean that some of you might experience something going to work, right?
Or it's like, just like whatever your plans are that you thought, there might be a lot of changing of your plans. You might have to be really flexible with things and your will. as far as like how you wanted things to go versus the way it's actually going to go.
Some of you guys have been awaiting a process to come to like, a process to play itself out. And this is not really being aware that the outcome that you want is actually probably not really going to be what it is. It might be that you might quit a job, right? Some of you might be quitting something that's a routine for you.
Thrown from this thing. Like whatever it is, it could be. I mean, it could be a small thing and related to. It could be a small thing and related to like your electronics or something. Like something happens this month where be careful with your phone, be careful with your wallet, be careful with stuff like that.
Physical things.
Your laptops and stuff, things that would disrupt your routine if you lost them, your keys, stuff like that. But also, it could be something in relationship to your will. Or your partner, even. Maybe you both are planning something and they're not on board with something, so it affects your day-to-day routine. Because it's something that you want to progress in. Traditionally, Virgo energy and here, Capricorn energy. So it's definitely talking about you feeling emotionally like you want to work towards something and it possibly being like disrupted somehow. Now, it's not saying that that the disruption is necessarily a bad thing. But it's saying that it will happen, or like that it could happen, and you need to be flexible with what happens. Here, because it could be like a thing that happens because the Fool is at play for a new beginning. That's good. That brings in some currency, maybe a bit more currency for your home life.
This literally could be like you're driving to work and you're like, damn, I didn't know that they were going to close the bridge for construction today, and now you're late for work, and much later than you thought you would be. Or it could be like the train,
and that causes
breaking
something.
down. Right, exactly. It's like all of those things. Maybe you guys will get a flat tire on your way to work, or on your way to taking someone to a place that you routinely go to, like a soccer practice, or like a cheerleading practice, or something.
Something
like that.
happens to a coworker.
Right.
Something happens to a sibling. Maybe just be. Something that makes you feel like you have to be bound to the situation. Maybe something happens to them in their relationship, or just something sudden with one of your kids, where sudden plans might have to change, and you might have to be flexible about that.
It could have something to do with like the stomach or like the intestines, being that like Virgo rules this house, something like that. Like appendix, probably. It could be something like that. It could be a stomach ache. Somebody might get like a stomach virus. Something like that. You know what I mean?
Just a disruption. Or it could mean that you yourself, because this is like aggression, Mars, right? And it's the bolt from the Emperor. So it could be something that you were constructing on a day-to-day that you decided to end.
You might change plans on somebody.
Like you could have thrown the bolt.
Right.
So, it's definitely saying in that sense that, and it's something that you do in the day-to-day. It's something that you were building towards progressively, or maybe you were talking to somebody for a while and you ended it. Maybe you just realized that I feel foolish in my mind, so I'm not going to do this thing anymore. And that could be related to business, or it could be something else where you totally change it. Like you were like so set on not doing this thing, and now you're like, I actually am going to go and do this thing with this Libra or with this person in my like this Aries or this Capricorn, and I'm just going to go in and like change up my routine and allow them and what they want to like kind of take me for a ride here. That's also possible.
Okay, you guys, we know that you have been waiting to see what the House of Relationships has for you. Mother of Swords.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mother of Swords, Queen of Swords. So
you're clarity within your relationship.
You're intuitively seeing it.
It's like if you're dealing with people that you're regularly involved with, and you're like, why are they being this way, or why are they acting like this, or why did this person say this, or just the who, what, where, when, and why. You're going to gain some clarity on that, right? You're going to realize some things. You're going to figure some things out. You might even communicate some things that are very definitive and clear, right? It's his energy, right? Okay. So you got to speak on some things. You got to let people know sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like this bird right here. It's like the sword is actually lowered down. So it's not in a position of being like on the offense, right? But it is there. So it's like if somebody wants to like challenge you, you're prepared. But it's like all you really need to do is just communicate with that person, whatever it is that you want to say to them.
Some of you could be having some of you could be wanting to communicate or have an intimidation with an older female in your life somehow. That maybe somebody like a mentor that you look up to even, or your mother or grandmother or something like that, because it's the house of relationships. And, it could relate to business even, like you're in deals with or you look up to a very smart female in your life, or you yourself are this very smart business person. And you could be weighing out business versus relationships, money versus time with the family. This could be a big part of that for you. Also, intuitively, you're kind of like seeing things a little bit more now. You're listening to your intuition when it comes to your relationships more. Maybe you guys are still bound to something, but you're planning on being free of it. So you're thinking about what will happen when you do free yourself of it. Or you just got freed of something and you are just now thinking, like, I'm going to be really discerning this next time round, but you're feeling like you want to express yourself more in your relationships in general. If you're Sun and Leo especially, or Moon and Leo, you could be just feeling emotionally like, I want to really, I really want to be seen for whatever it is that I want out of this relationship. This could also be, reputational, like, you want to be seen in this way. I said reputation and then a candle went out. But yeah, it could be talking about like, even in that, because you want to sit on your throne and be able to express your thoughts to your lover clearly without offending them. That could be a large thing as well. Also being careful with your tongue, also because the swords are a weapon.
Yeah. Leah, it's like, I understand like not really wanting to give second chances, and if something is wrong and the red flags are there, you're gone. But it's like the second chance is probably acknowledging the red flags and having the actual conversation and the verbal communication about the red flag. Maybe that's the second chance instead of you just being like, oh, that's a red flag, like I'm ghosting. You know what I mean? Because it's like there are going to be things that you're going to have to work through with people that you're involved with in a relationship. It's not like you guys won't ever be able to have any kind of conflict, or you're always going to see something that you may not like in someone. Even the people that you're closest to, your mom, your dad,
like
your best friend. It doesn't matter.
It's like a thing that's there where it's like the physical is good or the routine is good, but there's a disagreement. Maybe you saw something you didn't like, or they saw something happen. It could be like definitely to do with the father or husband, or like a male archetype as well. With the Jupiter being there and Libra right there. With the Sagittarius placement as well. So it's kind of like that's Jupiter in Jupiter, right? With Libra there. So it's talking about what's beneficial in this relationship, what's fair in this relationship, or, business even. It could be business because Libra does talk a lot. Swords do talk a lot about business and court and all that type of stuff. Right.
Okay. You got the Hierophant in your 8th house, which is actually... And it's just going back to the relationship because it's Taurus in the 8th house. The Hierophant. Institutions, right? How are you going to use certain structures to your advantage? Shared resources, institutions, right? Business, jobs. How are you going to use those things to your advantage, right? If some of you want to make those changes, yes. How can you put yourself at an advantage, even in situations that you may not feel the most comfortable in, so that you are actually learning more, right? It's sort of like on a spiritual level, yeah? Because when we get involved with institutions such as schools and places that we work for a long time, or places that help build our careers or formulate our careers, those are spiritual quests, because it's like we're really putting in time there, which that takes energy of the mind, it takes energy of the body, it takes energy of your actions, and your spirit. So it's like you involve yourself with those institutions to sort of like give yourself a sense of like value, right? It's the things that you are investing in for yourself to take with you through your life. Those are things that you have. And then those are like giving you resources that you can share with other people, right? Your strengths you can share with other people. Other people can share their strengths with you. It's like a give and a take as far as like that idea of knowledge goes, right? How you give knowledge and how you receive knowledge. It's that inner learning through listening to your inner ear, right? It's like with Taurus, Taurus is slow and it's steady and it's heavy. It's not as impulsive as Aries is. It's actually learned something from Aries. It's learned to be slow and steady. It allows itself to be influenced by things on a practical level, things that Dale's getting a candle lit. Things like a routine. You're really into that, right? The routine makes you feel like you really have something that you're working towards, or that you have something substantial that you're dealing with on a regular basis, which brings you a sense of security, right? That's really what the Leos want a little bit more right now, is that sense of security, because it's actually going to bring your encouragement to a different level, a new level. That's what you need. It's kind of like a mentorship from the divine, or a mentorship. It's like you mentoring yourself, right?
Yeah, for some of you, there's like a reveal that's involved, right? With work. What did you uncover with work? There could be some type of a density there. There could be a death with a certain commitment somehow that you've had. Maybe you always worked here or did this establishment. Maybe something's changing about work. Maybe something's changing about your marriage. Something could be changing about a routine. Even the child is going off to school, or something some type of routine that it changes for you. That has you feeling like, has you assessing your worth in the situation, even about what you have, about your routine. Taurus energy is a lot about building as well. So there could be like, what do you want to build that you're not necessarily being, out in the open about? There could be something in relationship to that. Maybe you want a commitment, more of a commitment, and you're not getting that kind of thing.
There's a deeper desire.
Yeah, there could be definitely a deeper desire involved. This is like the 8th house, which is traditionally ruled by Scorpio, and then you have Pisces here. We're in relationship to Leo, so it's really just like water, 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 water. This could be relationship definitely heavy, as far as like, I'm talking like soulmate even. Maybe it could be like karmically related. Maybe you're meeting up again after some time, or this is someone that you've known for a long time, just because it could be back from your school days. Someone, maybe something happens from someone from your school days, and it affects you somehow, right. Or there's some type of
you run into them.
Reveal, yeah.
Oh, you look so good. You didn't look that good back then.
Right. There could be something to do with finances, even like a reveal with the finances somehow.
He thinks we're twins, but it's okay. It's more karmic. All right, let's look at your 9th house, you guys. Ruled by Sagittarius. Yeah.
The High Priestess.
In that place of that higher learning position, that inner knowing, that great sense of purpose through your intuition, what you were meant to do. That journey, honey, the Odyssey. Odysseus.
Right, High Priestess. So, what is it that you know in this situation that you might not be sharing, right? Or what is it that you're waiting for in this sense, too? It's very yin related. Okay, and the 9th house is talking about travel.
Right.
It's talking about kind of like foreign things as well. Goals, higher goals. right? Higher learning institutions like that. So like superior knowledge in that sense. You know, and this is high priestess, so this is subconscious.
You see yourself,
like you really,
you see yourself, and you know yourself.
Have you been having dreams about doing better things, being a greater version of yourself somehow?
You already feel it. You already know it. It's like the high priestess is here, just like really pushing to the forefront that you're really interested and hungry to expand, right? Your knowledge, your purpose, your course. You want to expand your course.
Yeah, some of you have some talents that you're not really, you know, you need to take the risk. You know, maybe you need to take the risk with a relationship, or you need to take the risk with changing up your routine. Go ahead and put that bolt in it and like do that thing. You know, take that risk because there's some type of risk involved.
Some of you have been feeling like you've been driving on like a two-way street. And now you want to be driving on like an 8-lane highway, right? It's like that sense of speed and expansion. You want things to move forward, and you want things to move forward quickly, but it's like you know that things have to run their course, right? You know this because you've already anticipated it and you've already imagined it in your head. It's not something that's a surprise to you. You understand what expansion is and what it means to take time and learn and experience things. And that's what you're doing right now. It's really beautiful.
In your 10th house right now, you have the 8 of Pentacles, which is Mercury and Virgo, right? So this is talking about progression, right? This is talking about perfected work. I'm working towards this goal. I know what this goal is, right? I've got all these pentacles. I'm lined up. I'm adding a pentacle to it, right? You might not be completely there. It's definitely talking about more work than desire. Like you're full of desire, but the legs are still in this moment. So it's not like you're actually walking. It's like the arms are moving, right? So it's more about communication and efforts and than it is about resolutions right now.
There's more work to be done.
There's more work to be done.
And it's meant to be that way.
Yeah, exactly. And there's about having the courage to like go out and attain these things and like the processes and the evolution of these processes. Some of you are having epiphanies time and time again inside about what you truly desire and what you're truly working towards. Some of you could be being very critical of just people in general. It's Virgo energy. So you could be communicating or coming across very critically to, you know, your family somehow. That could be part of the conflict, you know, this traditionally would be in the house of Virgo too. It could be like something you were working towards, they're not working towards, or there's just some type of disagreements there, and it's messing with, you know, a goal that maybe two of you had where you were going along the same path and now you're not going along the same path. And so that could be just kind of like maybe one of you is being really critical of the other. And then one of you really knows why you're doing what you're doing, and you're just not willing to be really flexible within that. Some of you are working on your relationship with your father. This is, you know, this is that time, you know, June, Father's Day is around the corner. Or you're thinking about it, you know, you're thinking about it.
Or something.
Yeah. It could be like, it could be going back to school. It could be it could be something personally that you're really good at, like a craft that you're really good at, like a talent. Once again, I was talking about talent. You guys are Leos as well. Are you going on the auditions? Are you processing the things? Are you doing the DJ music stuff that you really know that you're really good at so that you can reach the people? You go to the routine, you go to the parties, you unveil this Platonian like thing that you have. Right, that can help, and maybe it's going to an establishment. Like, get the agency, go do the work that you need to do, be seen.
Right. So you feel like you are getting close to serving your purpose. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like you're on the road.
It's been a lot of
you haven't quite like served your absolute purpose yet because there's so much more that you want to do. And that's what this is saying in this 10th position up there in that midhaven, right? There's still more work for you to do. You know that there's so many things that you haven't even expressed yet that you still need to do in this lifetime, right? So like right now, this is just like the tip of the iceberg. This is just a little golden nugget for you. where you are right now is really just like the start to something greater. And every moment of your life, think that. Where you are right now is really just the start to something greater. Okay? Because then that will continue to allow you to expand and allow you to work towards things routinely so that, you know, your encouragement and your drive, that doesn't die out. You got to want it.
And some of you like supremely know some things, like, I mean, with that high priestess energy being there in the ninth house, it's like, you know, with your goals, with why you do the things that you do, with the connections with this person, even like, you know, your role, you know, this perfected work that you're working towards that can be established in a way that is like reputable. Right, because 10th house is like reputation, midhaven kind of energy.
Right.
You know, it's the father, it's the heritage. Right, it's the so get your soapbox together. You're building your purpose. You're a Leo. You want to shine. You want to be known as this. Right. If it is a business related thing, like it's like really putting the work in.
This is saying
to see this the resolution.
You
and there are some changes that are going to happen
because you're already in your groove. Right. You're already in your get into the groove, but you got to prove. It's like there's almost like nothing to prove because you've already proven it. You just got to get into the groove, which is nice. Let's look at your 11th house, darling, which is ruled by Aquarius. And you got the Sun of Swords.
Okay, so that's the Knight of Swords.
Yes.
All right, that kind of gives me like Gemini energy, still mutable. And the 11th house.
Ferociousness, honey.
The mind on fire. Okay, so what's going on there? You know, are there like swift communications with friends, brass communications with people outside even? Like,
don't get into an argument at the club, child. If you go out, don't get into a fight or an argument at the club. Please don't.
Did somebody say something offensive?
Oh.
Or is there communication, intimidation aspects going on somehow?
Right.
Like, you know, or is this like a swift dagger? Are you ready to attack in some type of way?
And like,
when are you ready to attack a friend? Are you ready to attack
in a public place? You know what I mean? No.
That's possible. Or are you need to be careful of an attack, possibly? Like, make sure you duck and dive when it comes to.
Don't get roped into an argument or an altercation in public.
Right. Yeah.
Because people would try it.
Yeah, somebody might try to say something offensive, you know. Sometimes people use words, you know. They try to, you know, especially when they're intimidated, you know, especially if you're shining, you're a Leo, you're attracting things. And does somebody drink their haterade that morning? And, you know.
There was a Snickers bar the other day, and the rapper, they have all these names on it, and one of them said hater. So if you have a hater, y'all, go to that Rite Aid, buy that Snicker with hater on it, and leave it at their desk the next day. Say, I thought you might want a snack.
Or like, this is another thing. Like, somebody might know something in relationship to somebody else's family. Like a friend did something to like one of your siblings, or a sibling did something to one of your friends, and you know. Yeah, you know the information there, but it's like, you know, you aren't saying anything about it. You know, it could be in the day-to-day, and that could end up coming out somehow. It's like a gossipy kind of thing, even. It could be something, infidelity. It could be something like that there. Just because it's friends, and it's attack on the friends, and then I'm looking over here in the home life with the devil card there, and I'm like, well, these correlations. Because you might know something. Right.
You might know something. And this tower could just denote to you finding something out communications-wise in a physical way.
Or like somebody took something
on the computer,
said something,
or a note, or you might even like see someone in a place. Like it could just be like something like material that you find out information through, right? It's to do with rape. So sad. There you go. Yeah. I said at the beginning of the reading, a male, manipulative, emotional, knows how to get you.
I said that when we were talking about the double card, right? And I was like, oh, this is so heavy. I kept feeling that. So at least out in the open, we call the monster what it is. But like, yeah, that was definitely out there. Sexual assault, I did say. So it's just like, dealing with that somehow in the family life with the friends and families and people who make these choices and do these things that like it's more than just that one act. It's like the residual effect of this thing. Like me and Kendra were talking once about like, even like surgery and stuff and the healing process of things.
Right.
It's like when you get hurt or when that thing happens, or even you go for this surgery. The surgery itself is like maybe an hour or a couple of hours. Like, like a long surgery is like 14 hours or something. Most surgeries are probably less than that. Right. And like, but the healing process from that surgery could be months or years. Right. It's like the whole idea of like the residual and how we all affect each other. And we do that to each other emotionally. Scorpio is deep cuts too.
Thanks, sunflower.
And so there's like some type of routine that, something in the day to day.
Yeah. Let's look at your 12th house.
Okay. So the blind spot is like, this is like the restrictions here. Maybe some of you need to create more restrictions. Or some of you are just fed up with the situation. You can't take anymore.
I'm kind of,
other ones are balanced with it. It's like, it's gotta, it could be a blind spot for some people.
Closing things out. Yeah, for some people it's that blind spot.
Right. But for other people, this is a completion.
Oh my God.
Right? So, because it's the 12th house, it's the world.
You started with the Fool too.
Right? So that's very like, woo, that's a circle of like,
wow.
Keep going and keep going. Because these two cards, this is a cycle, talking about a cycle and a new cycle beginning there, right? With the Fool and then the World. And the World is talking about a balancing of the masculine and the feminine in your life. The duties of the masculine and the feminine and sexually. Right. Sexual duties and otherwise. Because this is actually a hermaphrodite, which most people don't realize, right?
How are you blending
That's a penis under that cloth there,
right.
But, the sanctity of things.
Right.
So this is the balancing of, like, the masculine and feminine energies. This is Saturn as well. Saturn. Those are Saturn's rings.
Think of people who are, like, non-gender conformists, right?
This is about restrictions too,
right?
And it's in the subconscious. So it's like maybe you have fear of restriction, someone restricting you, or you're restricting someone somehow, and you don't realize that you are. You could be doing that somehow and not realizing that you're doing it.
This card is also teaching you to take all of the different types of energy that you have, right, that are fixed to you in your life, right, your physical person. How do you transmute those things? How do you turn them into something usable and workable for you, right? How are you controlling those things, right? Because the fixed signs have something to do with control, right? And Scorpio definitely does, right?
Traditionally, this is Pisces, and then here, Cancer for you. So this is like deep, watery emotion, deep evolution of the love and being loved in return. There could be a completeness with the lover happening here, definitely. You could find your soulmate or reconnect with a soulmate, somebody karmically to you that maybe has been in the back that like comes out somehow. That's definitely possible. Or just kind of like restrictions, subconscious restrictions. There could be
Odyssey.
Right. There could be an Odyssey.
Whoa.
There's definitely like a whole trip. And it's like a completion. It's a completion in a way that's not just the travel, even though I do see travel. There's like a completion of like
7 major
elements of people, of souls coming together in agreeance even. Like maybe it's just people from the past that you meet up with again and you're all like, here we are at this point in our lives. And it's just like a coffee brunch. But that coffee brunch makes you feel like you are really connected somehow. It's like...
Ta-da! You can't see it. It looks white from back here.
Okay.
Look.
Ace of Cups.
Ace of
New
Cups,
love coming in. This is all about the new love.
This is a purification and a cleansing, darling. This is seeing your emotions for what they truly are to you.
I'm clapping for us right now because we really need this.
Right? For those of you with Venus and Leo.
We need
it. This is new beginnings in love, even with the person that you are already with. This is new beginnings in loving yourself more, darling. I don't care how much you already do.
Right.
You can always love yourself more.
It's also like you could be starting anew. Maybe there's a healing that's happening and you're having like a new feeling with someone.
That's exactly.
That could be like, and yes, there is a risk in your mind in relationship to it because we were talking about taking a risk on love, so yeah, there is a risk related to that.
That's the next phase of this Ace of Cups, the 2, is that taking that risk.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. So it's talking about new love. It's talking about like this card is actually really beautiful.
It's beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. Well done, now Kim Krantz. Woo.
Right, because this card is talking about like filling that cup with new emotions, and maybe it's because there's like something, like I said, karmically coming around. There's a completion in relationships, so things that you have in spirit. Maybe you're realizing again, or you're getting back to some version of yourself that was like a little bit far off. Now Uranus being in Taurus, you're getting back to what you have and having new epiphanies in relationships as well, and sexuality and family life, and like how you allow these things to affect you. There's a completion definitely happening there.
Didn't somebody say something in the beginning about not giving second chances in love? Okay. Well, this is another chance, darling. We told you.
Another chance.
Give second chances. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Because wouldn't you want one too? If you were being misinterpreted or misunderstood.
It's tough, I know, Leo. It's tough because we rule the heart, so we take a lot of pride in ourselves and in love.
Can be a little bit
so it's really hard to, with the Mother of Swords being there, it's like you're being really discerning. You're being really like, I know what it is. Because we know how good we are in love.
Okay, Thomas.
We really love you. We really, we rule the heart in that way. We really make you feel just loved. And so it can be a prideful thing when, that disappointment comes in. Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful.
We got to tag you guys at the end because... Providence Tarot is our name on Instagram and Facebook. Also, I love this song. Also, if you want a private reading with us, Thomas, I want you to email us at providencetarot@gmail.com. Okay, and we will get back to you and let you know what our pricings are. Just know, you guys, after June, our prices are going to be going up. So if you want to book a reading with us right now at those prices and not at the premium to have us both, then, we're still taking readings where you can request to have us both or have, either one of us, yeah? But just moving forward, after June, it's going to be a premium to have both of us, and our prices are going to be going up. What song is that? That is Fantasia Barrino with
When I See You.
When I See You, right.
Fantasia, from what's the show? Why can't
American Idol.
American Idol. I wanted to say the you think you can dance for some reason. We're dancers. But American Idol.
We are dancers, guys. We might do a video for you guys one day.
Yeah, one day by the water.
So follow us on Instagram at Providence Tarot. This guy right here is at Blue is True. That's with 2 T's. And I am NYC Kendrick. You can also follow Kendrick NYC. I have a food account too. So if you guys want to look at food that I have created, it's called The Tongue Pop. At The Tongue
Venus
Pop.
is in Cancer right now, by the way. And this is Venus in Cancer. So go ahead and beautify yourself for you and for your lover. And if you're single... that person, you're going to see that person. Like, this is like the, my milkshake. This is like the, we're spiritually connected. This is like the, I got the gushy feelings for you. Like, I'm feeling.
It's so crazy.
All
right, you guys. So, have a great week and have a great weekend, okay? We'll see you guys next month. And we'll be getting back to you this month with some content, right?
Okay.
All right.
Bye.